What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Commentating Christian YouTube channel, where today we're going to start a new series on this channel called Teams That Were Torn Apart. In this series, we're going to look back at some historic teams that were so good that the rest of the world had no other option but to strip them of their best talent. Now, I'm not talking about the most dominant sides that the world has ever seen, not the likes of Barca's treble-winning side, Zinedine Zidane's Real Madrid side, or Manchester City Centurions. We're going to focus on smaller sides that were considered underdogs and achieved the impossible. These sides served as a catapult to launch some of the biggest superstars to the limelight today. So kicking off this series, we're going to start with the team that gave the world one of the world's best players, a team whose superstars went on to shine for teams the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Atletico de Madrid. Now, of course, I'm talking about that AS Monaco side that won the Ligue in 2016-2017. Not only did this team end PSG's 4-year dominance of the Liga title, but they beat them to the championship by an impressive 8 points and did not lose to them in the league that season. They beat them 3-1 in the first part of the season at the Stade Lois, and then drew away to them later on that season at the Parc des Princes. That season, Monaco also made a dazzling run in the Champions League as they fell short to Juventus in the semi-final, 1 game away from playing in the Champions League final. Now, this was Monaco's most used starting 11 that season, starting off in goal with Daniel Subasic, Sadiba as the right back, Benjamin Mendy as the left back. Gillick and Jemerson were the most used center back partnership, Fabinho and Bakayoko at the central midfield positions, Thomas Lemar at the left midfield position, Bernardo Silva at the right midfield position, and then up top was the Colombian star striker Radamel Falcao and a young 18-year-old Kylian Mbappe. Among the bench were also some pretty decent players, the likes of backup striker Hermane and Portuguese midfielder João Moutinho. Now, this side's average age was 24.9, Benjamin Mendy was 22, Sadiba and Jemerson were 24, Fabinho was 23, Bakayoko and Bernardo Silva were 22, Thomas Lemar was 21, and of course, Kylian Mbappe, that was just starting his career off, was already 18. After the 2016-2017 season that AS Monaco won the Liga and made a run into the Champions League semi-finals, Benjamin Mendy was sold on to Manchester City for a fee of 52 million euros. Tomoe Bakayoko left for Chelsea for 40 million euros. Bernardo Silva joined Benjamin Mendy at Manchester City for 50 million. Backup striker Hermane left for Marseille, and the superstar that would lead France to a World Cup victory just another year later, Kylian Mbappe, left to PSG, initially on loan. Then the following year in the 2018-19 season, Fabinho left for Liverpool for 48 million euros. João Moutinho left for newly promoted side in the Premier League Wolverhampton Wanderers. Thomas Lemar left for Atletico Madrid for 70 million euros. And PSG would ultimately purchase Kylian Mbappe for an astounding 180 million euros. And just like that, 6 of the starting 11 that lit the world up 2 years prior were all gone. To make matters even worse, next year in the 2019-20 season, right back Sadiba left for Everton on loan. Subasic left the club as a free transfer after he lit up the world in the 2018 World Cup, making a run all the way to the final with Croatia. Jemerson was also released from his contract in 2020. Radamel Falcao left the Turkish side Galatasaray after his contract came to an end. So now 10 of the starting 11 from just 3 seasons prior have all left AS Monaco. The next season, in the 2020-21 season, Gillick, the center back, seemed to be the only player left from that starting 11, would also leave the club for Italian side Benevento. And just like that, Monaco were stripped of that fun-to-watch, chaotic side that lit the world up just 4 seasons prior. So, what happened to them? Starting off with the goalkeeper who, as we mentioned, led Croatia with Modric, Rakitic, and co to a World Cup final in 2018. Let me tell you, he had a real knack for being an underdog. Subasic retired from international football following that 2018 World Cup. He would then go on to rejoin his boyhood club in Croatia, Hajduk Split. Nowadays completely retired as an active player, Subasic still remains with the Croatian national team as the goalkeeper coach. Moving on to Benjamin Mendy, who honestly the less said about this player the better. Now, he did win 3 Premier Leagues at Manchester City and was a part of that 2018 World Cup France winning squad, but his career following the departure of Monaco was very heavily plagued by injuries and a whole lot of legal issues. Mendy was found guilty of multiple charges of sexual assault, but was released on bail in 2023, the same year that he would join France club Lorient. After a stint at Lorient, he would join Switzerland's side Zurich. and today technically he is still under contract for a first division side in Poland, but has yet to make an appearance so far in the 2025-26 season. If you ask me, this player should have been completely banned from football after being found guilty. What a despicable man. Alright, the other outside back, Sidibe. Sidibe hasn't achieved much since his days at AS Monaco. Yes, him just like Benjamin Mendy was also a part of that 2018 France World Cup winning squad, and he did achieve a domestic double for Greece side AEK Athens in the 2022-23 season, and today he is currently playing football back in France with Toulouse. Jemerson, the center back from Brazil, who I feel like most people forgot about, was in this side initially. After leaving AS Monaco in 2020 when his contract expired, he went back to Brazil to play for Corinthians, then returned to France one season to join Metz, then went back to Brazil following that spell to play for Atlético de Mineiro, and now is currently playing for Grêmio. Jemerson's center back partner that year, Gillick, who as we just mentioned was the last player to leave that starting 11 in 2020 when he joined Italian club Benevento, and now at the age of 37, Gillick is back in his home country of Poland playing for Cracovia. Moving on to the midfield, where Fabinho, after leaving Monaco, had so much success with Liverpool, he essentially won every single trophy that was available to him, both domestically and internationally, including the very coveted Premier League trophy and the UEFA Champions League. Following his successful stint at Liverpool, Fabinho left for Saudi Pro League side Al Ittihad in 2023, where he is still currently playing his football and earning 14 million euros a year. Boy, do those Saudi pro teams know how to pay a man. Fabinho's midfield partner that season, Timoe Bakayoko, left for Chelsea, where his parent club sent him on 4 different loan spells following an initial unsuccessful season at Stamford Bridge. Those loan spells included 2 stints at club AC Milan, 1 back at AS Monaco, and then 1 for Italian side Napoli, where finally Bakayoko was picked up on a permanent deal and left Chelsea for Lorient. Then he went to Greece side Panathinaikos, where he only made 4 appearances last season, and was released from his contract following that season, where today he is still technically a free agent. Alright, bench midfield option Joao Moutinho, who left for Wolverhampton Wanderers and became quite literally a club icon there, making 175 appearances for the club from 2018 to 2023. Today, Moutinho is playing back in Portugal for club side Braga at the age of 39. Alright, wide man Thomas Lemar, who had a very unsuccessful stint at Atletico Madrid, where he failed to live up to the potential that he showed at Monaco. In 6 seasons at the club, Lemar has only scored 8 goals in 139 appearances, as he has also been sidelined with an injury for 101 games. Lemar was a part of that 2020-21 Atletico de Madrid side that won the La Liga trophy, beating Barcelona and city rivals Real Madrid too. But other than that, and the 2018 World Cup where he was a part of that France side as well, Thomas Lemar has not won much. Today, still aged only 29, Lemar is still in La Liga, now enjoying his time with Girona. Now, from one wide player that really didn't have much success to one that did, Bernardo Silva left for Manchester City following that 2016-2017 season, and has been in Manchester for 8 years now. Silva has been a crucial part of that side that has won multiple trophies, 4 Carabao Cups, 6 Premier League titles, including one season where they did achieve 100 points, and obviously Silva won the Champions League in 2022-23. Alright, Colombian striker Radamel Falcao did play up top for Monaco that successful season, where he honestly literally rejuvenated his career following unsuccessful stints in England with Manchester United and Chelsea on loan. Falcao joined Turkish side Galatasaray for one season, where he scored 19 goals in 34 appearances. After a season in Turkey, Falcao then joined Spanish side Rayo Vallecano, where he was with them for 3 seasons, before returning to Colombia to play for Millonarios for one single season before he retired. Alright, moving on to the jewel in the crown of that AS Monaco side, the Prince de France, Starboy, Kylian Mbappe. I mean, what hasn't Mbappe won to date? And he's barely 26. Mbappe won 4 Ligue 1 titles in a row from 2016 to 2020. Obviously, one of them was with AS Monaco. Then he joined PSG, where he won 3 consecutive Ligue 1 titles with them. In 2018, in Russia, Mbappe became only the second teenager to play and win a World Cup final, and the second teenager to score in a final, following the Brazilian legend Pelé. Now, earlier I asked what has Mbappe not won to date? Well, he has yet to win a Champions League despite making it to the final in 2020 with PSG, where they eventually fell short to Bayern Munich. Mbappe also left PSG to join Real Madrid just 2 seasons ago, but what do PSG go on and do the second Mbappe leaves the club? They go on and win the Champions League without him. Not only that, but a PSG player in Ousmane Dembele went on to win the Ballon d'Or following that successful season with PSG, another prestigious honor that has escaped Mbappe's grasp. But time is still on Mbappe's side as he went on to compete in another World Cup final in 2022, where eventually France did fall short against Argentina, and he was Real Madrid's top goal scorer last season in his debut campaign, a campaign where he also won the European Golden Boot, where he scored 44 goals in all competitions for Real Madrid. And already, at the time of recording, at the start of this season, Mbappe has 18 goals in just 15 games for Real Madrid in all competitions. But can Mbappe achieve the unachievable and finally win a Champions League with Real Madrid and or win a Ballon d'Or come the end of the season? Alright, let's not lose sight of AS Monaco, who after all they are who this video is based off of. The whole point of this series is to highlight how destroyed the rest of the world left this team. Monaco has yet to win a Liga since the 2016-2017 season, but they have finished in the top 3 4 times in the previous 7 seasons following that campaign. They are also yet to make another deep run in the UEFA Champions League since 2017. However, today, Monaco seem to be on the rise once again, fielding young talent like Ansu Fati and Florian Balogun, and also football icon Paul Pogba has rejoined the club following his suspension from football, so there is definitely hope in Monaco. As the saying goes, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. In this case for AS Monaco, it's better to have reached the heights that they once did than to have never reached them at all. So that was it for this video, you guys. Once again, this is a series where I'm going to start on this YouTube channel called Teams That Were Torn Apart. We're going to look in depth at teams that lit up the world and then were stripped of their talent, see where that talent went, see how that team is doing. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you once again for coming back to the Commentating Christian YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. God bless.